Hey Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, I want to just remind you about that golden parabola that I did introduce you guys to about a month ago, maybe even a month and a half ago by now. And then, of course, we did follow up 3 weeks ago. Guys, I just hope that you are enjoying this bull market because we were planning for that bull case off of my golden parabola. And guys, if we just jump to the episode where I did introduce that to you, you can go ahead and see what I had to say.
The best case situation, the best case scenario that I have for this market, if we do respect my parabola, and if we just grind kind of sideways, maybe get that bear flag to the downside, then a bull flag to the upside, we could even generate a much larger bull flag, even if we do get first rejected at that 90K area. We start just building higher lows and higher highs off of a nice macro structure, just like I was telling you in the last area. They put us through the meat grinder into the parabola, and then they just take it up sort of like what we did right here. That would be my best case scenario. And then
All right, guys, so you can go ahead and review those episodes if you'd like. However, let's just jump straight to the chart and take a look at what's going on. Here you can see on the monthly, it really simplifies it for us how that golden parabola has been holding up. And I took a lot of flack for this kind of concept. I know that a lot of traditional traders, they don't like to see alternative methods. They only like to see horizontals. They only like to see, candle measures, those kind of things. But in fact, there are many ways to navigate the market. And I just really encourage you all to explore the different tools out there and the different concepts that can help give you an edge because there is no one way to trade. And as long as you find, kinds of setups and kinds of concepts that help you manage risk, that's how you're going to win overall. And the Alpha Fam here is absolutely killing it, guys. Just look at this bounce off of my golden parabola. And of course, that did correspond with the confluence of the horizontal support and resistance. There's no doubting that. That's why we use these things as confluences. And I'm a big fan of something called triple confluence and also quintuple confluence. If you have 3 to 5 confluences that stack up in your favor, that's a high value trade, a high confidence trade, and it's worth pursuing. Now, if we do just jump down to the daily, we can go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. And actually, let's just jump back over to the monthly and just notice how we are breaking the tops of those candle closes on the monthly. Okay, so the highest candle close has now been broken once again. And if we are able to flip this level, then that parabolic price action could just continue to rip to the upside. So don't fade this type of a move. If we do end up closing the month here, it's going to look quite bullish. However, you do have to understand that that is a potential resistance area. In fact, this whole area is where the monthlies did wick down. So if we do get another pullback, as long as we stay above that golden parabola of mine, that's just going to be an opportunity. If we do look at the weekly, you can see that we are coming into those weekly highs as well. In fact, we just wicked up into the highest weekly close. And so again, just a warning that if we are going to have pullbacks, again, just like I said, they could put us through the meat grinder. They could mess with your feelings once again, and before they send it. Now, a lot of people are going to be trying to make the analogy that maybe this pump right here is akin to this one and that they're just going to send us all the way back down. And in fact, as long as we were struggling at this support, I was totally open-minded to that kind of concept. But I do think that we have fully regained this top range and that now we're playing in this territory. And so I would expect probably shallow pullbacks unless something just terrible happens in the market, in which case, again, that 93 to 91 level is really where we want to start considering our risk management. And then below 88K is just going to be too rich for my blood. We can just wait and see, wait for the next low and then see, do we reclaim the parabola or have we lost it and we just do a back test, which may be a bearish back test, right? So again, guys, that's for a future episode if we break down. But currently, we're showing quite a bit of strength, and I do expect us to just chop and grind this range until we perhaps get a breakout, because my consideration is that we're not very much like this candle anymore. I think that's what this grind was down here. I do believe that we're now on our way something like this, right? And so I'm looking for a shallow pullback that continues to lead into parabolic price action. And I believe that may be the case because as we head later into the summer, it's just going to be higher and higher likelihood a chance that the Fed is going to be releasing liquidity in order to refill the treasury, in order to prevent any recessionary pressures. I think we're also going to see more ease on the markets as these tariffs comes down. I believe the U.S. Just made a deal with the UK on that front. And also, of course, we just have to consider that there are changes happening. For example, New Hampshire just adopted a crypto bill. And while no one really wants to be first, no one wants to be last. And so once the first domino tips, we'll probably see other states, we'll probably see countries coming in following that lead. And of course, if the scenario is successful, then in the next cycle, it could be even crazier, guys. Okay, so I do believe this is where we may start to see some institutional FOMO once again, depending on how that liquidity situation and depending upon how this is all handled by the states. And we're also seeing companies like Coinbase starting to acquire other businesses for perps, and it looks like the whole industry is getting ready for some type of expansion. Guys, if we do just drop down to the daily now, we can see that we are continuing to just push off of this level. Now, when we did have that breakdown, we were very much at risk of retesting maybe 91, right? Just you can see all these choppy wicks back here. And in fact, if we do just fall back down to our range lows, basically retest the strength, sort of like this in reverse, right? Boom, boom, right? Chop, 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 boom, boom, right? We could still get those wicks down to 91. So I'm not opposed to being open-minded to some chop and grind, again, just into that golden parabola as this market consolidates for its next push. If this market really wants to go parabolic right now, then it does not have to push up that tightly against the parabola. It does not have to do this big kind of shoulder like it did over here. But I would remind you guys that when we do see V-shaped recoveries, in this case it's a W-shaped recovery, oftentimes the right side very much looks like the left side. And so when we saw this wick down here, it was plausible that we could get a deeper wick low here before they pushed it up. But sometimes these markets just front run itself, right? So they all kind of see the same sort of thing, and they just decided that this pullback was deep enough, and off we went. So personally, I was looking to put in a bigger buy order around 91, really kind of grind out this range right here and just really prove it as support before we blast it off. But the market had another idea. And of course, we've already been in our long position since way down here off the contact with that golden parabola around 78K. So again, the AlphaFam is just doing absolutely well. We're absolutely killing it, guys. We're basically about 30% up on BTC, which is extraordinary. I mean, we caught the bottom of this move. Okay, guys, so you should feel pretty proud. Yeah, if we just go ahead and jump over to the momentum channels, you can see that we are firmly in the bullish control zone. And in fact, we've pushed through the bumper zone. So I do consider that even the critical bull, anywhere between this 100 to 108 is really on the table. And I wouldn't be surprised if we pushed up here. And then if we did lose 100K, I really wouldn't even be worried until we lost 97K that we might have a bigger retracement. So really, 97K is where we'll lose that bull zone. And then, there's really no issue whatsoever until we lose 92, in which case we're going to lose that level that's been very supportive in this rally here. And we don't really want to do that if we're going to continue to be parabolic. Okay. And so above 92, everything looks fantastic. Above 97, it's just perfection, right? So if we do go ahead and jump over to the bumper bands, you can see that we are stressing, our normal range. And so a little bit of a pullback would be reasonable as we're hitting these old highs. And then we can also check out our Heiken Ashies, obviously very bullish. We do have, a little bit of that hidden bear signal that did complete here. But like I tell you guys, hidden bearish divergence is not that strong. We don't expect it to really cause us to lose our range. We really would just expect some type of a retest, and that's exactly what we got before continuing off of the bullish divergences that we did put at the bottom of our range. Let's go ahead and take a look at the squeeze. You can see that we are quite overheated here. This is sometimes the area in my squeeze channels where we do bump our head and have pullbacks, and then maybe we come back up to meet that channel once again if we're going to remain bullish. But as it is right now, we can also just break through this level, and then the whole range is open to us, even up to 115K. So, you know, breaking through this current level, that old monthly, that old weekly resistance, really, we can just get a nice push, assuming that they don't want to give us some type of a consolidation here, some type of a baby pullback at least. You know, and a lot of guys probably missed their entries on this move, and so they may not want to give it back, right? They may not want to give you that opportunity. We can see that everything is green on my Ichiban indicator. The Niban actually had a nice squeeze here, and we've just been in a bullish squeeze basically ever since my entry off of the golden parabola. I do have a version of Fader's money glitch. He's my friend that I met over at another group, and yeah, we've just been working on indicators, and I created a version of something that's very similar to what he was working on, and so I was inspired just a little bit by his, and so I call it Fader's money glitch here. But the alpha version, and this is not based on his code, it's just my own coding, but it's very similar, and you know, I'm going to continue to work on this. Really, that one gave us a Pico entry there on my version. So I think this is developing quite well, and we'll continue to work on these for you guys. Here with the infinite money machine, you can see that we did get a buy signal. We have not gotten any sell signals, so that's looking pretty good. If we do get a sell signal, I will give you guys an update. Some of these divergences here, we did have an addition, so this was asking us to add to our bags off of this low here. So again, guys, things are just looking very bullish. We're above the 21 daily EMA. As you guys know, I'm a big believer in the 21 EMA, and as long as we are on the top side of that, we do have that bullish bias. Really, this market is bullish right now, and I don't know how many times I can say it or how many ways that I can say it, but you're probably going to be wanting to look for those opportunities. There have been other coins that I've been sharing with you. For example, Pengu. Guys, we're up 300% on our Pengu play, okay? Now, these are plays that I've dropped in the community. Link is in the description of the video below. If you have any trouble getting subscribed, just let me know, and I'll see if I can help you out. That's your alpha for the day. Stay safe, and happy trading.